Ready, camera 2, ready to open mics, and ready to cue talent. Fade into camera 2. Open mics.
Good afternoon, I'm Giovanni Patricia.
And I'm Tony Tineco. Today on Fresno State Focus, we'll tell you what might be keeping you from getting hired.
Plus, find out about Fresno State hidden gem, the farm market.
But first, we'll show you how Fresno State students can celebrate Earth Day every day of the year. It comes around once a year, but who actually celebrates Earth Day? Allie Norton finds out how Fresno State students can make every day Earth Day.
Whether it's a rainy day or a sunny day, it's nature, and it's celebrated once a year. But where did this celebration of Earth Day come from? Dr. John Pryor, Department Chair of Anthropology, says it started to be recognized as a historical day in the 1960s, but has actually been celebrated even longer than that.
In essence, really, the celebration of Earth and the environment really go back much further in time to hearth festivals or celebrations of harvests. Or even back to hunting and gathering societies, you would have first fruit rites. And so while there's sort of a modern Earth Day, really there's an older context that goes back much further than that.
Dr. Pryor says it's important students not only celebrate on April 22nd, but every day, and that Fresno State has excellent resources to be green. Travis Grimes, a campus visitor, adds that people can help out the environment by using a bike.
I feel like we need to get out of our cars and ride and walk as much as we can, because a lot of times when we want to go to the store, we hop in our cars and run down a half a mile where we can just walk.
Grimes says it's important for people to celebrate Earth Day to spread awareness. You too can celebrate Earth Day starting right here on the Fresno State campus by just reducing, reusing, and recycling for a better community and ultimately a better world. Allie Norton, Fresno State Focus.
Over 500 schools participated in One Day Without Shoes. Lauren Bouthillier shows us how Fresno State took part in going barefoot for a day.
Can you imagine walking barefoot all day? Fresno State students did just that on One Day Without Shoes. Tom's Shoes encouraged others to go barefoot to help raise awareness of the millions of children that are living without proper footwear.
I just think it's a good way to help spread the word of that. Not everyone gets the privilege of wearing shoes every day, and so it's kind of a way to step back and see what the rest of the world's like.
To get a better understanding of the impact a pair of shoes can have on a child's life by taking off your own, the Tom's Club on campus set up the Path Without Shoes. The Path Without Shoes consists of 3 different terrains that shoeless children walk through every day.
But some people that walk through them are like, oh, it's okay, it didn't hurt. But if you think about it, we only did it for 2 seconds. But if you think about the kids, they have to do it every day of their lives.
Even though shoes are often taken for granted, they help protect against injury, disease, and soil-transmitted infections. And in some areas, shoes are required for children to attend school.
Just try it, it's not that bad. I mean, at first, I think the biggest fear is just taking them off and having people look at you walk barefoot, but once you get over it and you know why you're doing it, to help someone else.
The One Day Without Shoes movement can be contagious. Curiosity will lead to conversation, which will then lead to action and bring change. Who knew so many people would go without shoes so kids don't have to?
One Day Without Shoes, Fresno State!
Lauren Bouthillier, Fresno State Focus.
The Rue and Gwen Gibson farm, known as the Fresno State Market, has a lot to offer students and the community. Julia Guzman tells us what you will find at the market.
Fresno State Farm Market is located on the corner of Chestnut and Barstow. The market opened its doors 20 years ago to give Fresno State agricultural science and technology students a chance to sell their products. Products that are sold in the farm market are grown, harvested, and produced by Fresno State students and faculty. Fresno State Farm Market carries different types of items. Some of the items you will find are fruits, vegetables, meats, and dairy products. One of the most popular item here is the ice cream. Megan Anderson says she enjoys shopping at the Fresno Farm Market. She comes into the farm market once a week.
Well, I always come in for my meat. They have really good quality food, and I know it's not full of chemicals like a lot of other places might be, and it kind of supports the CSU system and the students.
Megan Anderson bought a lot of meat. If you buy from the market, you are helping Fresno State students. Every purchase that is made from the market goes back to Fresno State. Visit the Fresno State Farm Market so you can see for yourself all the great items they offer. Their hours are Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. through 6 p.m., Saturday 9 a.m. through 4 p.m., and Sunday from 11 a.m. through 4 p.m. Julia Guzman, Fresno State Focus.
For students who need something entertaining to do on Friday night, they have to look no further than the MCJ department's Cineculture class. Morgan Dixon tells us more.
Do you like indie and foreign films or watching movies for free? The Cineculture, a film discussion series on campus, could be for you. Cineculture went from a club on campus to an MCJ course that features a different cultural movie every week. Last week's feature was the Italian film 8 1/2, which tells the story of a disgruntled director who begins to recall the happenings of his life and the women he has loved and lost. The course is taught by MCJ professor Mary Hussein. Each week, Hussein invites a guest to discuss the movies with the audience. Last week discussing it was author Doug Rice, who gave a little bit more on his opinion of the film.
The film is boring. No, I'm not kidding you. It's boring. You will fall asleep.
For students like Grayson Brown, Cineculture is a good experience.
I usually come just to spend time with my girlfriend because she has this class. But it was actually pretty interesting because they show a lot of foreign films. So it's a good way to get dispersed into other cultures through film.
The public is welcome to attend screenings, and local resident Ray Escher has been coming to Cineculture when it first started 4 years ago.
I read about it in the Community Alliance and several other places, and I just thought I'd give it a shot. And when I'm, able to come on a Friday night, I just got hooked on it because of the films and the discussants, and it's just really been an interesting thing to come to.
For those of you interested in learning more about Cineculture, you can visit their website for screening details. Morgan Dixon, Fresno State Focus.
Finding a job after college isn't always easy, but you might be making it even harder on yourself. Matt Penner tells us just what might be keeping you from your dream job.
We're here on the Fresno State campus at the Student Job Fair. We're here to find out what might keep you from getting that dream job. But it's not on your resume, it's on your body. We, the millennials, are also referred to as the tattoo generation. According to a 2012 Pew Research Center survey, 36% of 18 to 25-year-olds have at least one tattoo. Hal Stewart is a regional manager at Lifted Trucks. He was at the Student Job Fair looking for potential employees. Stewart says that he himself has a tattoo and has no problem hiring tattoo employees, as long as they can cover him up. So how can a tattoo hinder your chance of getting a job, even if you're fully qualified?
Now, if you have it visible and it's you versus somebody else and you guys are equal, we're more than likely probably going to go with the person that doesn't have it.
Josh Sharma is a junior at Fresno State and will be heading into the work world upon graduation.
Well, I have one tattoo on my shoulder and one tattoo on my right above my knee, and I got them there so I can hide them easier.
Sharma said he feels it appropriate to cover up tattoos so both employers and customers can't see them. Ryan Collins is among the tattooed population. In fact, he's a tattoo artist and a student at Fresno State. Collins says his job is not to act as his client's moral advisor, but to give his artistic opinion and ensure a quality tattoo. He does, however, try to talk his clients into placing tattoos in coverable areas on the body.
You just need to be aware of every action has a reaction and don't make impulsive moves.
If you're wanting a tattoo and planning on getting a job, keep in mind that where you place it might have an effect on you getting a job, regardless of your qualifications. Matt Penner, Fresno State Focus.
The world was shocked to hear about the shooting of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. His shooter, George Zimmerman, is waiting charges. People around the world are following the shooting of Trayvon Martin and the recent arrest of George Zimmerman. On February 26, Zimmerman, who was a part of Neighborhood Watch, shot and killed unarmed 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. Since the shooting, there has been an uproar among thousands of people across the country because the state of Florida had not arrested Zimmerman for over a month. Sean Johnson, who is a biology major at Fresno State, says he has also followed this story closely.
I think it is a big injustice and it needs to have attention. It's something like this shouldn't happen, and I think the attention is much deserved.
Johnson says he has received a number of emails from other students to join in on rallies for Trayvon Martin in different parts of the city. Zimmerman, who was arrested April 12th, is protected under Florida's Stand Your Ground law. He could face up to life in prison if convicted of second-degree murder, but the law could give him a second chance to avoid prosecution and conviction. So what exactly is a Stand Your Ground law? According to Florida's legislative website, the Online Sunshine, the law allows use of deadly force to prevent imminent death or great bodily harm. Zimmerman pleaded not guilty and may use the Stand Your Ground law in his defense.
A lot of guilty people usually plead not guilty.
Professor Mark Stevens, who teaches criminal law here at Fresno State, joins us with more information on George Zimmerman's arrest. Thank you so much for being with us.
You're welcome.
Now, can you tell us why it took so long for the DA to arrest George Zimmerman?
The district attorney in any case is the individual who determines whether or not charges are going to be brought. It's all I can say. It's unusual, especially in a death case, to wait that long to investigate, to make up your mind what the charges are going to be. So I really don't know. It's not something that's usual. Usually the investigation is done right away, and the DA is the one who makes the decision.
Now, the Stand Your Ground law, a lot of people are concerned that he's going to be protected by this and the case could be dropped.
The Stand Your Ground rule is a very old rule. It comes from the Castle Doctrine on protecting your home. And looking at the Florida statute, the statute seems to say that if I'm in an area that I can be in and I'm attacked, then I can use force as well as deadly force in order to defend myself, even away from the home. So about half the states in the United States have it in some form.
Now, in your opinion and what you're discussing right now in your criminal law class, what do you think is going to happen? What can you see happening in the future for him?
That's awful hard to predict. They'll go through the charging proceeding, and he's pled not guilty right now, and he's presumed to be not guilty. And I assume at this point he'll go through a trial, and there's no determining what's going to happen at a trial.
Okay, thank you. And that was Professor Mark Stevens with us, telling us more on George Zimmerman. Thank you.
A new university logo was designed and unveiled in an event at Fresno State this past week. Anthony William was there to get the public reaction.
Hundreds of Fresno State students, faculty, and staff came out to watch the revealing of the new university logo. Students expressed how they felt about this change for Fresno State.
I believe that they incorporated all majors and all divisions of Fresno State and basically included everyone. And I do believe that with the new logo, it solidifies the brand of Fresno State.
This event allowed Fresno State students and faculty to show their school spirit and celebrate the positive change that's happening at the university. The crowd patiently waited as time finally came to show what everyone was waiting for.
I feel like it's a positive change for Fresno State. Everyone needs a new fresh start and a new kind of look every now and then, and so I think that's Fresno State's time right now.
We listen to the community, the faculty, and the staff, and the students to learn what they saw Fresno State and how they identified Fresno State.
As you saw, tons of people came out to express their joy and excitement for the revealing of the new university logo. And in this situation, I think the saying best fits. Out with the old, in with the new. Anthony Williams, Fresno State Focus.
World records aren't easily broken, but that is just what one Fresno State class is looking to do. Russell Cook has the story.
As the wind and weather slowed down production at a local packing house,
Fresno State students weren't going to be denied a chance to do something big. In this room, PR Farms usually stores its food products, but today it set the stage for Fresno State students to set a world record. Members of the Marketing 188 class had to cut their sleep short as they attempted to break the record for the world's largest smoothie, all while learning in a unique way.
It was a good hands-on experience compared to just having like a final and a midterm and doing a research paper. This actually required time out of the class and more effort than doing other regular classwork.
The recipe of the record-breaking attempt called for 200 gallons of yogurt, 175 gallons of orange juice, and 1,000 pounds of strawberries. After it was all said and done, the students were happy as they broke the record with 380 gallons.
Earlier,
we did it.
Bouncy, crazy, dancing around here. It was almost fell. It got messy.
After their goal was met, students filled thousands of cups with their smoothie to sell at the Grizzlies game. All proceeds went to benefit the community and to help the families of the Ronald McDonald House. Russell Cook, Fresno State Focus.
Still to come on Fresno State Focus, see how students did their part by giving blood. But first, let's go to Rudy with sports.
Thanks, Tony. Coming up in sports, you'll learn about Fresno State's other racquetball courts. That and more when we return on sports. Did you know that there used to be other racquetball courts on the Fresno State campus? Sergio Robles tells us that what became of those courts and other places near the university where students can continue to play.
All you need to play racquetball is a ball, rackets, some competition, oh yeah, and a court. It's that last requirement that has students and the public looking elsewhere on campus and outside of it after the outdoor courts were taken down in 2011. The old outdoor courts were open to anybody looking for a match, regardless if they were students or not, and they were free to use. But people who remember the courts agree that their availability may have been a problem.
There could have been some misuses of those courts, especially when they're outside and open for everybody in the public domain after dark.
There are 2 indoor courts located at the rec center, but they are only available to current students. If Bulldogs want to play friends or family outside of the university, they have a few options that are near the campus. Centerpoint Gym, located at Shields and Maroa, does require membership, but there are incentives for students.
Normally there's a one-time fee when you come in to pay, but for students we drop it.
Closer to campus, Pay and Play Racquetball is at Ashland and Willow, and they charge by the hour. Their all-cement courts are the closest thing to the old courts on campus. Where there used to be outdoor courts where friends can play a few rounds of racquetball, almost a year after being taken down, there's only dirt and a large rain puddle. With no word on what will happen at the empty lot, people can only recall the memories of the games that they played there.
The ones at Fresno State seem a lot more, a little bit shorter, you know what I mean? But it's not bad because it makes it more complicated. I mean, you're actually right there in the court, so you have to know the angles of the court.
Sergio Robles, Fresno State Focus.
Fresno State athletes need to be able to stay on the field and be prepared to take on their opponents. But to be able to perform their best, they need the proper trainers to assist them. Today we are here with Salvador Lopez to tell us a little bit more about the athletic training program and its benefits it provides for our student athletes. Hi Salvador, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good, good. So, okay, so tell us more about the athletic training program and what does it provide for student athletes?
Now, the athletic training program is basically a healthcare system designed for student athletes. They're there either during practice, pre-game, during the game, even after the game. They're there basically to maintain the healthcare of these student athletes.
And so, what is your role in the program and what do you do during the season when athletes are competing?
As far as a student athletic trainer, I'm basically the eyes and ears of the certified or the head athletic trainer. I'm there occasionally if an injury, the initial injury, or if I'm there to proceed with the protocols as far as an injury goes.
Okay, and so with dealing with injuries in rehab, What have been some of the injuries that you've encountered while training or attending to these players?
I can't name any specific things, but as far as injuries, we've gone through either ankles, knees, legs, anything of that sort. We're basically there to learn to be a certified athletic trainer and do that.
And so what are your feelings about the athletic training program? And for you to become a trainer in the future, what has it done to prepare you for that?
The athletic training program is actually really good here. They send us off to different environments, clinics, orthopedic centers, even high schools to other colleges. They send us there to learn different experiences. We get there and we learn something new. Every time we go there, you do the same things we do at another facility. Mm-hmm. So as far as the program, they train us really well. Our goal basically is to become a head athletic trainer anywhere or become certified.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time, Salvador, and thank you for your insight on the athletic training program. Still to come on Fresno State Focus, we'll tell you about the special project going on in the equine department. Stay tuned to Fresno State Focus.
Marketing students at Fresno State thought of great ways to encourage people to donate blood, but the only thing that kept students from giving to a great cause was the bad weather. Kirby Schnorr tells us more about the blood drive on campus.
In their Marketing 100 class, they came up with a slogan as well as incentives to encourage people to donate. They handed out t-shirts, offered coupon books, and Grizzly baseball tickets.
Well, we're trying to get as many donors as we can to help the Central Valley Blood Center because they typically experience a shortage this time of the year.
Every pint is needed, especially in these wet conditions, but Robert Salinas tells us it's hard to get people to donate with the bad weather.
Attendance for especially this campus, it gets pretty low when it's raining and whatnot, so with that absence, we feel it too at the Blood Center.
Behind me are Fresno State students lining up to donate blood. Even though the weather conditions are bad, there's still a few who are willing to give to a great cause.
I've never done it before and I've always wanted to do it, like give something back. So I just thought since it was right here, I might as well just do it. I don't have to drive to it or anything.
The drive, which is held multiple times on campus throughout the year, was an assignment for business students in their Marketing 100 class. They came up with a slogan as well as incentives to encourage people to donate. They handed out t-shirts, offered coupon books, and Grizzly baseball tickets. If you weren't able to give blood on campus, you can go to any of the other Valley locations. They include Visalia and Porterville, and 2 in Fresno, and it will count for the Fresno State Drive. 1 pint saves up to 3 people's lives, so pour your veins out. Blood, is it in you? Kirby Schnorr, Fresno State Focus.
Have been complaining about the rising tuition. What most students don't know is that there are international students here on campus that have been paying a lot more than local students do. Join us today, Van Kamswatwong, an international student from Thailand, to share her story. Thank you so much for joining us today, Van.
You're welcome.
So can you tell us how long have you been staying in the United States?
About 4 to 5 years now.
And what is your major?
My major is psychology.
Why did you first choose Fresno State?
Because of the location is pretty good, because it's in the Central Valley between San Francisco and LA, and especially it's pretty good for staying focused on your education.
Do you mind telling us how much do international students pay per semester?
Per semester, I would say about 9,000 to 10,000 between that. I'm quite familiar with the fees because I work at the International Students Services and Programs. So for the registration fee, it's 3,300, something like that. And on top of that, we have to pay $372 per unit. And also the health fee, which is separated from the health center. And that's about $840 per year.
How many units do you need to take in order to be in status in United States?
The minimum per semester is 12 units to keep the visa status.
Is there any financial aid for international students here?
There's one that I know of, which is the hardship tuition waiver. That is like once a semester, and it gives about 2 to 3 students per semester.
Okay, and all right. Thank you very much, Van, for joining us today.
Thank you.
So we just talked to Van Kam Swat Swong, an international student from Thailand.
Fresno State's Equine Department is busy at work with a special project. Tara Thomas takes us inside.
It's springtime again at Fresno State, which means students of the Animal Science Division are paving way for new additions to their horse family.
I'm here with my new friend Steve, a resident at the Quarter Horse Unit at Fresno State, and it's an exciting day because later this afternoon he will be bred.
And then once you get him here, he's going to hit this real hard because he's going to feel this. And then you just stay here. A wonderful teaching tool for students because they get to witness the late gestation and the birth of foals and the critical neonatal time when the foal first comes into the world. But it's a great time of year. It's a lot of sleepless nights, but it's also a lot like Christmas every day.
Students say the task of breeding these gentle giants is not easy and can be quite dangerous.
Keep a safe distance away from the stallion because he is very vocal and very a lot of action. He does a lot of work, and people could get stepped on or get accidentally hit with one of his swinging hands.
Equine science major Kelly Burgess says she's very fortunate to have this experience.
A lot more about breeding, just getting my hands-on, a lot more hands-on experience than you would like working for a veterinarian or just watching it on YouTube.
The Quarter Horse Unit has already seen the birth of 3 foals this year and is hoping for another 2. Tara Thomas, Fresno State Focus.
Watching Fresno State Focus.
Tune in next week to find out what goes on in the life of a student athlete. For all of us at Fresno State Focus, I'm Tony Tinoco.
And I'm Giovanni Patricia. See you next time.